Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Speak to Grow Your Business in a Virtual World. This is a two-part mini-series, today being part one and tomorrow morning being part two. Now, what prompted me to do this mini-series is simply what is going on here in the world. And it looks like we are going to be in the virtual world for a bit longer. Some are estimating several more years before we can really do large live events. So, somebody has their hand raised. Can everybody hear me good? Can everybody hear me? Let me just do a check-in for a moment. All right. Can everybody hear me if you can hear me? Because I'm using my handy microphone here. If you can hear me, please put it in the chat box that you can hear me. All right, before I sit here and talk and nobody can hear me. So it's always good to double check with your audience. Okay, you can hear me, excellent. All right, Tutu is here. Tutu is from Nigeria. So welcome, Tutu. Sylvia is here, excellent. Alice is here, welcome, welcome. All right, I'm gonna put everything, I'm gonna move things around here a little bit so I can see you. All right, so let me see. So Dina, did you have something that you wanted to share? I'm going to allow you to talk. Dina, did you have something to share? Okay. Well, let me put you back then. All right. I'm going to lower the hands. All right. So yeah, anything you want to share with me, put it in the chat box. Let me get rid of this. All right. Perfect. All right. Anything you want to say, put it in the chat box. If you have actual questions, though, put the questions in the question box because they could get lost in the chat. All right. So what prompted me to create this mini series is because it looks like we're going to be in this virtual world for a bit longer. And I don't know about you, but if I wasn't speaking, my business wouldn't last very long. So speaking is the best way I have found to not only grow your business, but stay in business. And that's what we all want to do during this trying time. So we all know what's going on. I would like us to just escape from all that craziness right now and just learn something new that we can use immediately. So first, I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today for this next hour. And I promise you that I will make it worth every minute, worth your while. All right, so most of you know me or you've heard of me or you've seen some of my other webinars, but if there's anybody new, if anybody's new, just write in the chat box that you're new, that you've never met me or seen me before. And I'll just give you a quick, I'm not going to go into my story because most of you know me, but just for credibility purposes, I have given over 3,500 speeches all over the world. I've trained over 5,000 business owners. I've hosted over 700 live events, and I have 30 years experience in the speaking, not only speaking, but in the whole entire speaking industry, and 16 years teaching others how to speak. And this November, it will be 17 years. Yes. And why do I have these pictures? Well, originally I came out of corporate America where I first started speaking and of course failed miserably until I got trained. And I have also spoke on cruise ships. So and a little bit about me, this is my life. This is, I just happen to love dogs. And this is my husband and I and our two children. This is Zeus and Zoe. We got them when they're really small, like 7 weeks old, and now they're 7 years old. And Zoe, she's taken over the couch, and Zeus has taken over our bed. And since this whole pandemic, Zeus has developed a drinking problem. But this is a chart of my life. I don't know, is there anybody else out there that loves dogs as much as me? I know Dr. Renee does, but I pet my dog. I talk about my dog. I buy things for my dog. I play with my dog. I think about my dog. And then this is how much time I have for other stuff, which is what we're doing here today. All right, so if you like dogs, go ahead and put it in the chat box. All right. Excellent. If you don't, like dogs, don't put that in there. If you like them, good. All right. I say I live in my dog's house. Okay, that's good, Fran. So my outcome for you today is to share some powerful, actionable information and motivate you to speak out of the box. See, this to me is a box. So I want you to learn how to speak out of the box when you're in the box. And then, of course, invite you to learn more about virtual speaking. So, why add public speaking to my business? Now, a lot of you might be speaking, you might be thinking about speaking, wondering if you should be speaking. Maybe you're just doing it once in a while. Well, today I want to motivate you on the power of speaking and the kind of money you can be making and the lives that you could be changing. So, number one, the key to selling is visibility. And if you are the number one secret, in other words, if no one knows you exist, then you're not going to get business. It's just going to be a little bit maybe word of mouth. So we need to really explode your visibility because we cannot go out there to networking events right now. And the virtual networking that we can do is a lot different than meeting people one-on-one and having them see your energy, having them hear you, having them, just really being around that energy and that light. So it's very, very different. So we need to explode this virtual world and gain more visibility. And if you think some of the social media gets you visibility, well, it's pretty hard to get visible these days because there's so many marketers that are really just pouring a lot of money into ads and sponsors and all of that it's very hard for the average business owner to really use social media to get the business. I still have found that speaking is the best way, the fastest path to cash from any other marketing strategy that you can do, unless you spend a ton of money doing it, all right, like ads and things like that. But I'm talking about the free local talk strategy, going out there and speaking and actually getting clients from it. And I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so what I want you to do now is take out a piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and I want you to write down this strategy. It's called a baseline marketing strategy. And on this line, I want you, hey, Janine is here. Hey, Janine. I want you to write down everything that you're doing right now to market yourself and market your business. Everything, no matter what it is. And I want you to start writing some of those things in the chat box now. So for instance, if it's email marketing, if it's your website, if it's a blog, whatever it might be. I guess I don't need these. Whatever it might be, I want you to start writing that right now in the chat box and let me take a look at it. All right? Hey, Danielle's here. Hello, honey. How are you? Good to see you. All right, I'm going to make my chat box a little bit wider so I can see more of it. All right, so only Instagram, okay. And that probably works for you, Dina, what it is that you do. Dina specializes in eyelashes and that probably works really well for you. Door knocking, if you're in real estate, door knocking probably really works for you. But a lot of these are very time consuming. And what if you could, in 10 minutes or 15-minute speech, get at least 5 clients? Would you be interested in that? Yes, I'm going to show you how. Word of mouth works terribly. Yes, it's just slow. It's just not the fastest path to cash. It's kind of a slow train, right? Okay, so, Dina's not consistent. That's the one thing that you want to do if you're going to use social media is or speaking as well. You need to be consistent. This works. Any strategy works if you do it over and over and over and are consistent about it. Visibility is all about being consistent. You don't want to be seen once. You want to be everywhere. You want to turn around and have people go, wow, she's over there and now she's speaking here and now she's doing a live and now that's what you want. All right. So Facebook, website, LinkedIn, online networking, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. Anne is writing. I need to do more speaking. Absolutely. LinkedIn. All right. Excellent. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the ones that I have on here. So email marketing, networking, and again, there's a lot of virtual networking going on right about now. How many of you, and what you could do is just say yes in there, but how many of you been going to a lot of networking meetings lately? Right? I know I have. They're all over the place. Okay, okay, Dr. Renee's been doing a lot of things. Wow, I bet that keeps you busy. Yes, keeps you busy. All right, so social media, cold calling still works. You know why? Because no one's picking up the phone these days and doing any calling except for what? People that want to, let me see, what do I get? I get a lot of calls from, if there's any work to do around the house, contractors and things like that. Advertising, podcasts, articles, they still work, writing the blog posts, blogs, giving away free stuff. So what is missing on here? Only one thing, and that is public speaking. And if you use public speaking, you could eliminate almost 90% of everything else, except to do it because you want to do it. So if you like to play with LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, you could do it, but you don't have to depend on it for business. I am talking about a strategy that you can depend on, that you can hang your hat on it, that you can be sure that when you go and speak, you're going to get a client up to 5 clients. It depends on, you know, how well you're trained and how well you're trained in closing, but it works every single time, every single time. Excellent. All right. So bottom line is, if you want more business, there's only one way to do it. And that is get in front of more people. So if you really want to make that 6 or 7 figure business, you need to get in front of more people. And it's not as simple as that. You do need to get trained. If you do know my story, you know, I went out and spoke in corporate America without being trained, failed miserably until a woman came up to me and said that I said, okay, after every sentence. Then I decided I needed to respect public speaking and go and get trained. And I did, and the rest is history. So don't try to do it just because you can flap your jaw. No, you must get trained. It's like any other industry. All right, so public speaking generates. Now, I want you to, on that, either a new piece of paper or on that same piece of paper, I want you to write down the acronym LEADS. Now, I love acronyms. Everyone that works with me knows I love acronyms, and I teach you how to use acronyms yourself. And acronyms are great when speaking because it creates curiosity with your audience. It creates even memorability with your audience, right? They remember better. It helps you because it's like you have a little cheat sheet. So it's really a great way to teach and to speak. And the audiences love it because it builds curiosity. So the L, what is the L? And we're going to talk about this in length, and that is leverage. Speaking works to get clients and generate leads because you're leveraging your time. You're reaching more people. So instead of cold calling one-on-one, or instead of door knocking one-on-one, you are reaching more people. You are reaching more people. Now, there's a gal that recently has been doing a virtual travel tour, taking people to Bali and taking people here and taking people there. Now, she's not able, of course, to sell any of these packages right now because those places aren't open. But guess what she's doing? She's building her visibility. She's building credibility. She's building her list. And so when people are ready to travel, who are you going to think of? Because she's constantly visible. She's doing it on Facebook, and then she's sending it out to her email list and inviting people Friday night. I mean, this works. She's speaking every single week. All right, so leverage. So we're going to do a little math. So don't get nervous if you don't like math, but just know this, that the answer is in the numbers. You've got to know your numbers. So speaking leverage, we're going to do the math. So let's do a little math together. So let's imagine that you spoke once per week, and I'm talking about right now virtually, but when we're done with all this, right, then you could take it outside. Now, right now, I guess you meet in small groups of 12. That's fine. Do it, right? People are still scared, so you could go out there and just really, clean up the market. So again, speaking virtually, or even right now, speaking in small groups once per week. How many of you believe that you could do that? If you believe you could do that, go ahead and put yes. Yes, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Or put heck yes. That's even better. Put heck yes. If you think you could speak once per week, either virtually or live, heck yes. Heck yes. Yes. All right, good. Allison says yes. Excellent. Keep them coming. Heck yes. Heck yes. Now twice a week for 2 months, Danielle. Good for you. Heck yes. Heck yes. Liz says yes. Yes. Heck yes. Yes. Hell yes. Oops. All right. Good job. Good job. All right. So just once a week, anywhere for 10 minutes to 30 minutes. Now, in the virtual world, and you may have discovered this for yourself, but in the virtual world, so many people are having trouble speaking virtually that the time is better shorter. It's better to be real concise in a shorter amount of time, not because the speaker so much, but because the audience. It's really challenging to sit there in a Zoom meeting and listen to a speaker, especially if they don't have a PowerPoint or something interesting. So don't worry about a big 30-minute, 15-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, but let's just say it's anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, depending on how much time the host is giving you to speak. All right, so one time. Now, let's say that the audience, now I don't know about you, but Zoom audiences have grown these days. I mean, I'm on audiences of 50, 60, 80, 100 plus. But let's just say for the sake of math, because I promised I would keep it easy, let's just say you did it was 25 people, and a lot of networking meetings still, some women's groups I attend and some things, and I do my own networking group on Tuesday mornings, and we usually have about 26, 27 people in the room every single Tuesday. And we have guests and we have members. So I'm going to just say 25 is a good number. So let's say 25 times 4, you did it 4 times a month. That's 100 people that now know you that didn't know you before. 100, that's a lot of people. 100 people. Now let's say you did this 10 months out of the year, because I'm going to give you December off, because that's usually just kind of a Christmas month and getting together with people and or closing your year out. And then I'm going to give you January off because you're planning the new year and getting started. So 10 months out of the year, that's 1,000 new people that now know you by name, that know who you are because you gave that authentic speech from the heart. And now maybe not all of them are going to love you, but you are going to do your speech in such a way that they're certainly going to like you and absolutely will know you. Now, let's say you knew, again, this is where the training comes in, exactly how to pull out those leads. If you knew how to pull out leads, on average, you could pull out 5 hot leads. These are people that are going to sign up for your coaching, free coaching or strategy session. These are people that are going to sign up for your text list, whatever. There's lots of ways to get this done in the virtual world. In the real world, if you find yourself at a small live event, you can absolutely say, meet me at the back of the room or meet me over here at the end of the meeting if you're interested in talking further. So there's lots of ways that this can be done. So, it all depends. I can't give, there's no one answer. Why? Because audiences are different, topics are different, time frames are different. And of course, now in the virtual world, it's very, very different. So I teach people 6 to 7 different ways to close, because not all closes fit all speeches. Just know that. All right, so, but let's say you learned how to do it, and you could pull out 5 on average. So 5 times 4 weeks, right? 4 times you're going to speak. That's 20 hot leads. These are people that came up to you and said, I'm interested. I want to know more. I need coaching. I need this. I need that. And they came up to you. Now let's times those 20 times the 10 months. That's 200 hot leads. 200 hot leads. You never had to bang on one door and you never had to pick up the phone. That's how easy it is. They came to you. You are like a magnet. I teach people how to speak like a magnet so the people come to you and you don't have to chase them. Isn't that cool? If that's cool to you, say that's cool. So how cool is that? Say that's cool. Yes, in the chat box, because I tell you, I don't want to chase anybody, and I know you don't either. We don't have time anymore, right? That's cool. Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right, close for the business. Now, whatever your strategy is. So if you ask him to join you in a strategy session, a 30-minute, it's whatever your closing skills now are. These are, first I'm talking about speaking skills to get them to you, and then it's up to you to get some closing skills to close them. But on average, if they are interested, you could probably close 3 of them. So 3 times 4, that's 4 times a month you're speaking, is 12. And 12 times 10 is 120. 120 new clients within 10 months. Okay, that's a basketball, right? In the hoops. I mean, it's amazing, and it works, and it works, and it works, and it works for everybody when you learn my speaker system. I got to say that. All right. If you're not trained, I can't guarantee it'll work. But when you are trained and trained by me, I can absolutely guarantee you that this is what you're looking at. So ramp up your business, get ready. Now, this is a mathematical equation. That means that it can change. You want more than 120 clients? Maybe you have a small product or service, so you need to have 500 or so. Guess what? All you have to do is raise the number of times you speak, right? Raise the number of times you speak, or like 3 or 4 times a week, or add those 2 extra months back in. So it's entirely up to you how fast you want to go, how quickly you want to get these clients. So think about it this way, 100 new clients per year. Now, what is one client worth to you? I want you to write that down. You don't have to share it in the chat box, but I want you to write it down on your paper, and I want you to really take a look at it, because we're going to do one more mathematical equation, an easy one, I promise. All right. Everybody has that written down? Super cool. I love it. I love all the cool. Now, what is one client worth? Is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? If you're in real estate, it might be 10,000. Now, don't think of just one transaction. Think of the life of the client, because maybe like me, you have lots of different products and services. So what is the life of the client? And if you don't know, then take that number, like the 10,000, and add a 0. That's how you can guesstimate the worth of a client. So I want you to really write that down and look at that number. Look at that number. Now, if you're comfortable, all right, one more thing. Oh, if you're comfortable, all right, I want you to take that number. Now, you could take any one of these numbers. So let's say you take whatever number here and multiply it by 120, right? 120 new clients. So what is that to you? Forget the life of the client for a moment, because we'll add the 0 to that number. So if you're comfortable, go ahead and write in the chat box what that number would look like. What one transaction times 120, it could be your lowest transaction, say, just to be safe. But I want you to see the power of this. The power of this one strategy, which is speaking. And all you have to do is do it consistently 1 time per week. So if you're comfortable, go ahead and put that number in there. All right. Go ahead and add it in. Okay. Wow. $144,000. Now that's not even the life, Fran, because if you put a 0 after that, that's 1 million. And that is the life. See, 144,000, that's just one year. Right? All right. 1,200,000. Yes. Okay. 180,000. Excellent. Excellent. We're not talking about, some of the other stuff you might be doing to earn money on the side either. We're just talking about speaking your primary business. Cool. 120,000. Yes, the number is huge. And again, it just takes 2 things: training and consistency. Training and consistency. That's it. That's all. You don't have to do fancy ads. You don't have to do anything. It's a lot more fun to speak, I'll tell you that, for me than to write a blog or to do some of these other things that are so time consuming and they don't pay off. They might be long-term payoff, but they're not short-term. And right now we got to keep our businesses alive. All right, 127. Great. Thank you. All right, let me go back to the chat. There we go. All right, so now, so that's enough of the math for now. Now it works. Why does it work? Because when you speak, you are positioned as the expert in your field. Nobody else in that room is going to look as good or as experienced as you. You earn instant credibility. You're the bomb. You're the bomb, and people want that from you. They want you. So it positions you as an expert, and it positions you as an expert and an authority. You've heard of that, I'm sure, but it positions you as an expert and authority before you even show up. Because there's usually what? An email announcing you, some sort of flyer that is made. So there's some sort of Facebook post, whatever it might be, that's talking about you with your bio, with your picture, with the title of your talk, and bam, just like that, you are the expert. You are the go-to. You're the best. You're the best. Nothing else works like that. Now, the A is for audience. The A is for audience. You want to be in front of the right audience, your target market, in order to get those 5 leads. So if your target market was women, and went primarily women, but you went to a networking meeting that had men and women, then you've just cut yourself in half, or maybe 3/4, because a lot of times there's more women. So just keep that in mind. The more concentrated, the more focused, the more zeroed in you are to your target market, the better you will be to find them and find groups that have them in there. So think of it this way, not only your target market, but I want you to think for a minute, your fantasy client. Who's your fantasy client? Because a lot of people will be general and they'll say, you know, women between this age and that age, but maybe you want women that really are into self-discovery or self-learning or self-improvement, or women that have some money, you know, so you can carry it out as far as you want. So just think about, what is my fantasy client, and picture their face, and that will bring them to you like a magnet. But let me tell you one other thing about audiences. They have changed over the years. So if you've taken public speaking classes before, years ago, and I hear this all the time, oh yeah, you know, I did public speaking, and I'm like, oh yeah, when? Oh, 20 years ago. Wrong. It is, could you imagine having a financial planner that knew something 20 years ago, but didn't go to continued education and learn what's new now with a new, or your accountant with the new tax laws? You would be screwed, right? Same thing here. You need to keep up with public speaking and the training. And by coming here, that's a way to keep up with it. So congratulations, pat yourself on the back, give you a nice little pat on the back, because you've got to continue. It's like CSI, continuous speaking improvement, continuous speaking improvement. So not only speaking, but you have to continue to get trained even while you're speaking, and just treat it seriously, because it can make you some serious money. And it sounds like I'm talking about money a lot. Well, look, I'll tell you what, I'm all about making a difference in people's lives. And you are too, I'm sure. But we need to make money while we do it, right? If we can build our business, then we can make a bigger difference in other people's businesses and other people's lives. So don't think I'm just here for the money, but we have to live in order to give. Oh, that's good. We have to live in order to give. Awesome. All right, so audiences have changed over the years. Used to be audiences would tolerate being bored. They don't anymore. And then it became where audiences said, you know what, we don't want to be bored. We don't want to lecture. We want a presentation. But then speakers would come out and they would be bigger than life. They would be like actors, and they were not authentic. So then years went by in the 90s, and audiences said, you know what, we want someone to speak authentically. We want more of a conversation. So we started to see speakers speak from the heart. But But the problem was with that is they thought they could wing it and not practice and not rehearse. And then they ended up rambling, and audiences said, no, that's not what we want. And so where we are now is that audiences want an experience. They want to feel like they're part of your presentation. They want to be drawn into your presentation. And we can do that right here in the virtual world, just like I've been demonstrating with the chat. We're going to do what we can. And if this wasn't a webinar, but it was a meeting where we saw everyone, then there's a lot more things that you can do. So don't lose heart and think, oh, I can't give them an experience. Yes, you can. And it can be an emotional experience, which I'm going to demonstrate actually tomorrow. So audiences have changed. Let me share with you where it's going though, because I am in this 100%. I do not have any other business on the side. I don't sell any products or any of that stuff. Not that it's not okay for you to have 2 or 3 businesses, but this is all I do. 24/7. I'm either speaking or teaching people how to speak. And some of those trends I'm even setting myself. I'm setting the trends of the future of speaking because I'm in here all the time and I'm in it to win it. So where is it going? Naked authenticity. Write that down. Naked authenticity. That means not to be naked, especially in Zoom, but what it means is to be real. Audiences are hungry to find out who you are, what you stand for, what are your goals, what are your morals. That's why I came right out the bat and said that I love dogs. For me, I love God, I love dogs, and goes, my hierarchy is God, my husband, and dogs. And sometimes when my husband's in the doghouse, it's God, dogs, and my husband. But I just love them, and I will attract men and women of faith because of it, and I'll attract dog lovers. I like cats. Cats are cool, but dogs, I just love them to pieces. So audiences have changed. Make sure you're sharing some of you and being really real. Don't be politically correct anymore. You can't please everybody. And then then you end up pleasing nobody because they don't know what side of the fence you stand on. Database. D is for database and text list. Now, when we are doing a live event, we can still build our database by giving a raffle away and collecting business cards. But in this world, it's not as easy. Now, you could tell people, go to your website and sign up, but 50% may, but most of them, the majority will not. Unlike at a live event where you can really get almost 99% of the people's cards for a free gift. But let me show you how to do this in a virtual world. Now, all of you take out your phones right now, take out your phones, and I want you to type in where it says the number. So when you go to the text where it says TO, you're going to type in this number 71441. 71441. Now, some of you might be already on my text list, but I want to demonstrate how easy this is and how you'll get probably 80%. The only percentage you won't get are some people that are a little phone challenged. And now where it says text the word, where in your phone, like you're going to send me a message, that part, then just put my name in there, all capital letters, and you are going to see what's over here. It's going to say something about being a networking superstar. So when you have that, go ahead in the chat box and just say, got it, got it. So I'm looking for the response. Go ahead and put got it. All right. Go ahead, got it. Good. Thank you, Julie. Beautiful. Got it, got it. Fran's got it. Got it. Keep going, everyone. Keep going. All right, got it. Excellent, good job. Got it, got it, got it. Phone problems right now. Yeah, you're gonna have a few people that have some of those phone challenges, but I just wanna demonstrate how easy that is, and you tell people what they get, okay? So you're gonna get special invites, you're going to get special tips, and I don't abuse it. You only get something maybe once a month at most. So again, but it's just a great way to stay connected. All right, great. I don't have a sale. Okay. You, you're probably one of the luckiest people in the world not to have one. All right, because they're kind of connected to us. All right, so that just demonstrate that. Thank you for participating. And then the last one is sizzling hot leads. How do you get those sizzling hot leads? And so I want to share it with you. In the virtual world, you're going to get the hot leads. Number one, you can do this. You can say in the chat box, if you're interested, tell them what you have. Free coaching session, free strategy session, valued at $250, and we could talk about how public speaking will work for you. If you would like that, go ahead and put in the chat box, a word. It could be strategy. Right? Put strategy in the chat box, and someone from my office will call you and we will set it up. Now that's one way. Another way that I really like is to put, if you have a calendar link of some kind that works, like Calendly, Time Trade, any one of those, put the live link in there for your 30-minute strategy session or coaching session or 15 minutes, whatever it is. You can create it and send the link and put it directly into the chat box. Tell them that you put it in the chat box and tell them to go ahead and schedule their meeting now. It works quick and you don't have to worry about somebody calling them. Really, really cool. All right, so that's how you pull out the sizzling hot lead. In this world, I guarantee you right now, you will get more than the 5. You will get more than the 5 just because a lot of people are home, working from home, and they need help, they need advice, they need coaching, they need mentoring, they're scared, they don't know what the future is, they need encouragement, inspiration. So I can guarantee you that you probably will get more than just the 5 that we talked about earlier. All right, so how do you get the text number tied to an auto response? Well, it's by a text service. So there's lots of text services out there. Just Google text services and select a plan that works for you. It's just like the calendars or Zoom or anything else. And so I can't respond to you. So if you answered one of my texts, I can't respond. So it's not like a regular text on your phone that you would do with your friends. Okay. There's a lot of good companies out there. Again, I don't have really a recommendation because it depends on what your needs are and what your budget is and how many texts you want. It's just like a CRM system where the more you pay, the bigger it is. And they're all pretty equal. All right. They're all pretty equal. Hey, Karen's here. Hey, Karen, how are you? All right. All right. So this is Pete. Now, I taught this strategy to Pete. Pete is a bookkeeper. He's actually my bookkeeper. And he spoke, and this was when we were still speaking live. And he spoke at a chamber. And he got 8 leads out of it. He closed all of them. Some were for tax, some were for bookkeeping, et cetera, et cetera. And I asked him when I saw him the next time about how much money did he think that would translate to. He couldn't tell me because tax people typically have a client for life. They don't go off somewhere else. It's not just a one-time transaction. Same with bookkeeping. I have had him as my bookkeeper for 16 years, right? And sometimes, I need more of them. Sometimes it fluctuates, but he just said thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because most people don't change their accountant. And you might, hey, Ray is here. Hi, Ray. Hey, you're going to be on my PowerPoint tomorrow, actually. Actually, it's an interview Ray and I did. So you're going to be there. Hey, Sylvia, how are you? Okay, so can't open the link. I don't know why that is there. If the link you're saying is my website link, then that's probably not good. So if that's the website to get to my website, then thank you for telling me. I will have my service take a look at that. Appreciate that. All right. So why should you become a public speaker? Why should you? You might be on the fence. Some of you here are my clients and you've been speaking. I get that. But some of you, I know, have never stepped out on stage, but have kind of wanted to. So let me give you a couple ideas here. Number one, because your message matters. All right. Your message matters. That's all I can say. You see, you have a message to share that only you can share to people that can only hear it from you. I can't deliver the message. Nobody here can, right? God has given you a gift, and that gift is your message. And if you don't deliver your message, it will be undelivered for all eternity. And that's the way it goes. And that message is so important for you to get out because it could save somebody's business, it could save somebody's life, or it could save somebody's soul. That's why you need to get out there and speak. That's why you need to learn how to do it right and get it out there. Now, I'm not talking about protesting and what people are doing there. That's a bad use of the voice. I'm talking about going out there, shining your business, what you do for people, how you solve problems for your clients, and getting out there and being louder and being the solution to somebody's problem. And that's the message that you have inside of you. And I know most of you and all of you have something very, very important to share with people. And if it's not your business, maybe you have a passion of helping teenagers or helping teenagers that were in the foster system and now they're out. How do they transition and stay off the streets? I mean, there's so many causes that all of us could be talking about. So your message matters. Now, one time recently, I was at an event, speaking at an event. And I got done speaking at the event. It was one of these events where I was only going to get 10 minutes to speak. And I had to really think about, because I don't think I need to practice. But, there's always somebody in the audience that needs to hear you. So if you ever get an inkling, like, no, I don't. I've never in my career turned down a speaking engagement, ever. Because there's always a reward. Now, you may not know if you've changed someone's life. You may not ever know that you made a difference in their life. But let me tell you, when you do find out once in a while, it is a bigger high than anything you've ever experienced. It's just, the lid flies off. And so I'm at this event and I do my 10 minutes and I get off the stage and this young girl comes up to me and she tells me that she came last year when I spoke and she bought my book. I have a book, Speak Up, Get Clients. It's on Amazon. If you don't have a copy, you should get one. And she says to me, I gave it to my father. My father has dementia. And that book has inspired him so much that he wants to get out there and speak about his own experiences with dementia. I just got chills. And he lost his book, she tells me. He lost his book and he is heartbroken. Of course, I gave her a book for him and I gave one to her as well. And I asked her, I said, just do me one favor. When you give him the book, would you film it for me on your phone and send it to me just so I can, experience that? And of course she did. Tears rolling down his face, tears rolling down her face. And when I saw it, tears were rolling down my face. That is a gift, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't always get to see or to experience. But I'm telling you, when you do, you know that your message matters. But just know that if no one ever comes up to you, that it still matters. And just pray that one day, maybe you'll see a lovely story just like I shared you. All right, I want to show you how important your voice is, and just one voice. Now, I'm going to show you a video, and it's not about politics. It's not my political view. Take that out of it. I want you to look at what the true meaning of this video is.
Fired up, ready to go. Fired up,
Can you hear it?
ready
Make
to
sure
go.
you can hear it okay.
Fired up, ready to go.
Right in there
Fired
that
up,
you can hear. Oh, sorry. Right in the chat box. I want to make sure you can hear it. Yes, you can hear it? Okay, good.
ready to go. I'm Edith S. Childs from Greenwood, South Carolina, and I'm the one that got Barack Obama fired up.
And so I just want to close with a story that some of you know, because it shows you the importance of one voice. And it's a story about my first trip to Greenwood.
When I heard that he was coming to Greenwood, I thought, okay, I'm just going to go and welcome him to Greenwood.
Turns out that Greenwood is about an hour and a half from everywhere else.
Well, Greenwood is a little bit out of the way.
So we drive, and we drive, and we drive. Finally, we get to Greenwood. We pull up to a small building.
Right here in this building, the Civic Center.
It's pouring down rain. And my umbrella blows open, and I get soaked. I'm mad, I'm wet. We go inside, and lo and behold, after an hour and a half drive, turns out there are 20 people there.
When he first came in the room, he had this grin on his face, like maybe I'm in the wrong place. You know, it was a small group of people.
20 people. And they all look kind of damp and kind of sleepy, like maybe they aren't really excited to be there either.
And looking around at everyone in the room, I knew we had to do something.
Suddenly, I hear this voice cry out behind me, "Fired up!" And I'm shocked.
I know that the senator wasn't sure what was going on, because he had that look on his face.
So I look behind me, and there's this small woman. Looks like she just came from church. She got a big church hat. And she's standing there, and she looks at me, and she's smiling. And she says,
Fired up, ready to go. I knew we needed to keep singing. Fired up, ready to go.
and so for the next 5 minutes, she proceeds to do this. Fired up, and everybody says fired up, and ready to go, and everybody says ready to go. And I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, she's stealing my thunder. I look at my staff, they shrug their shoulders, they don't know how long this is gonna go. But here's the thing, Virginia. After a minute or so, I'm feeling kind of fired up. I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. So I join in the chant, and it feels good. And for the rest of the day, even after we left Greenwood, I'd see my staff, I'd say, are you fired up? They'd say, we're fired up, boss, are you ready to go? I'd say, I'm ready to go.
Once you hear it, you will never forget it.
So some people start putting fired up, ready to go on their shirts. Some people start putting fired up, ready to go on signs. Everybody's saying fired up and ready to go.
Fired up! Ready to go!
It shows you what one voice can do. One voice can change a room. And if a voice can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. Your voice can change the world. So I've just got one question for you. Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Fired up. Ready to go. 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 Fired up. Ready to go.
Fired up!
So let's go change the world.
So one voice, it could be even questioned that she, in doing that, was responsible to get him elected, get him president. Did you see how she got to hang out with him? She was right there with him during the whole campaign several times. They might have even paid her, I don't know, but they certainly flew her around the country. One voice, where she could have very well just said, you know, nobody's here, let's leave or whatever. But she took a chance. And your voice is just as important, and you can do things with your voice that no one else can. So I want you to think of what's possible. And I want you to think like speaking is getting into a car, a vehicle, yet you get to pick the vehicle. So you can get in a sports car, you can get in a BMW, you can get into a little VW if you want, a truck, whatever you want. And you get to pick the highway. It could be a highway, it could be a bumpy road, it could be a dirt road, it could be the Autobahn. You get to pick both. But it's speeches that fuel the car. And you can decide how fast to get to your destiny or how slow you want to go. But if you really want the fastest path to not only cash, but to changing people's lives, to making a difference, to being heard, to solving problems, then you want to get in the fastest car possible and you want to go on the fastest road possible. So with speaking, again, think of what's possible. You can help more people. You can work less and play a little bit more, which would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? You can make a lot of money or choose not to, but if you want to help your charities and you want to give more, then maybe make more. And then you can not have to select which charity. You can give them all something. So make more money. Travel the world. Once it opens up, we can travel the world. This is me at, of course, in Rome. This is me in Egypt. This is me in Petra. Of course, Hawaii is always one of my favorite places to go. And guess what? This one was not on a cruise ship, but I have seen a lot of places. When I went on the cruise ship, I got to spend time in Greece. I got to see Pompeii. I got to see a lot of things, and I traveled for free. I spoke 4 times on that cruise ship. You only speak when you're at sea, but I got to go to every port and for free on all the excursions and ride for free. And I could have even brought a companion. So there's all kinds of things you can do when you speak. Okay, Dina, I see your message. Thank you. Yes, Renee, you got goosebumps. I did too from that movie. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so Fran, what is her name? Are you talking about the name in the video or something else I might have said? So just a little clarification, please. Okay, excellent. All right, okay, so here's my cruise ship. I went on the Celebrity Solstice, which is the creme de la creme of cruise ships. All right, so this is one of my clients, Deb, and she's saying, I got to speak at Disneyland. Again, we're talking about what is possible at the Wine and Food Festival, which was a really big deal. I can't read it all, but you can read it. So again, just having a mentor that encourages you that you can do anything, speak anywhere that you want to. All right, so share the stage. These are a few of the people. You probably know a few of these people that I've shared the stage with. These 2 people I shared the stage with was their last speech. This is Jake Conrad Livingston, and he is known as the guerrilla marketer, and he was 80-something years old. We were in Dallas, Texas, and I spoke after he spoke. And they had him sitting down to speak, of course, because he's in a wheelchair. But then his wife was rolling him out, and he heard me start my speech, and he said, stop, 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 and told her to turn around, and because he wanted to hear my speech. And afterwards, I got a raving review from him. I mean, it's just amazing. And this, of course, is Dottie Walters, who practically wrote Speak and Grow Rich. Speak and Grow Rich. And you know Laura Langemeyer, and on and on and on. It was really fun sharing stages with famous people. This is Tommy Hopkins. What a sweetheart he is. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. And you can create your own stages. These are a couple of my own stages. And a few of you, if you can find yourself in one of these pictures and you're here, okay, the woman in the video was Edith something. You could just go on YouTube and all you have to do if you want to find that video is type in Fired Up and Ready to Go. There's 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And then you can find her name that way. Fired Up and Ready to Go in YouTube. Yeah. Okay. So if you are in one of these, now Renee is right here. And there's her doggy, John Luke. Renee, look at you. You're right there. So if there's anybody else that's here in any one of these videos and you're here, or pictures, and you're here with me today, write it in there, right in the chat box. All right. Right in the chat box. I'm in the front. Yeah, Renee, with, with John Luke. Look at, she has a little dog there. How cute is that? All right. And this was a few years ago. So this was, anyway. All right. So one thing to know, we're going to end, and we've got 3 minutes left. The better I got with speaking, the better my, guess what, got. Better my clients got. The quality of clients increased. Coaching programs, because I didn't have to take client, the bottom feeder clients or the vampire clients that just want to suck all your time and not pay you. And we've all experienced that. Whoops. We've all experienced that. So I got better quality clients, better coaching programs. My live events got better. My speaker training events got better. My masterminds got better. And several of you that are here, like Fran, has been in my mastermind. Virtual events got better. Opportunities to speak got better. So I got on bigger stages with, as you saw, a lot of famous people, and they just keep coming in. And the stages got better and bigger. And of course, the income with all this rose. So really, if you've already started speaking, good for you. Just get more training, get better, better, better. All right, so what do you want? I mentioned some of the things that I've been enjoying, the cruise ships, speaking on stages, but what is it that you want? Do you want more money? Do you want to send your kids to college? Do you want that fancy dream car? Do you just want to be in front of people and help people? What is it that you want? I want you to write that down in your notes. You don't have to write it down in the chat box, but write it down in your notes. And then let me ask you this $1 million question. What is stopping you? What is stopping you from getting out there on a weekly basis? I want to know what's stopping you. I want you to know what's stopping you, because we want to get rid of that and get rid of it forever. Now, what most people experience that I've learned over the years is what stops them, the challenges that they have, is that they don't really know how to craft a speech. Just because you can talk doesn't mean you know how to actually craft the speech. I teach people a system so they know how to craft that speech. They don't know what to talk about. Even in their own business, they don't know what part of it to talk about. It ends up being a commercial instead of a value-added educational talk. They don't know where to go, especially in this virtual world. They don't know how to get over their fear. They don't have a coach or a mentor to help them, and they don't even know where to get started. So, and they don't, most of all, have a proven system. And I teach people a proven system that you can follow that takes the guesswork out of what to say, when to say it, how to say it. So here's just a little example. And again, I'm almost done here. If you'll bear with me another 3 or 4 minutes. Rosie says, I moved to tears. My presentation tonight was over the top. So dramatically better than anything I've ever done. So well received, so moving, so powerful. And I have you to thank. I used your system and got 5 books sold immediately, and the orders continue to come in. Your system works. I love your system. I love you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, she was on a webinar. She was on a webinar selling books. How cool is that? All right. Now, Michael Gerber, we all heard of him. I don't know how many of you read this book. I hope you all have read it. But he says systems permit ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. So you could put instead of people speakers. So like my system permits ordinary speakers to achieve extraordinary results. And that means in sales and changing lives. This is just a little brief of my system and all the systems that I have, that I teach, coaching systems and all kinds of different systems. So without the systems, ladies and gentlemen, you are left only with a fear. So that is what our message is today. I'm going to see you bright and early in the morning. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for all your love and all of your attention. I so much appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you bright and early in the morning. So I have one question here that I'm going to answer. If you have any questions, put them in the Q&A box. If you have to go, I will see you tomorrow morning. If you want to stay and listen to the answers of the questions, or you have more questions, I'll be happy to stick around as long as you do. All right, so everyone's saying thank you. It's 10 o'clock Pacific, 10 a.m. to 11 Pacific tomorrow. All right, excellent. Okay, so somebody's giving me their phone number. You want me to call you, Ava, I'm assuming? All right, I'll give you a call. Excellent. All right, so you never turn down a speaking engagement. No, not ever. The only time, Katrina, that you might turn it down is if someone's asking you to talk about financial planning, which they wouldn't, and you don't know anything about it. Obviously, you wouldn't want to speak about a topic that you didn't know, that you were not passionate about. But most of the time people ask you, what do you talk about? And so if they're in your wheelhouse at all, then you never turn down a speaking engagement. My example primarily was because I only had 10 minutes to speak. And so I was like kind of debating whether, and I spoke there the year before. So I was debating really whether it was worth it or not, which shame on me, I know. But at the time it was like I was really busy and I had to drive and for 10 minutes. But it turned out I actually got 20 minutes because I asked her for more time because I was right after the break and it was at the end of the day. And I mean, everybody has already, seen everybody, the exhibitors, so we didn't need a 30-minute break. So I asked for 10 more minutes. So I did have 20 minutes. But you know what? It was the end of that talk where I really got the gift. The gift wasn't the 10 extra minutes. The gift was that woman coming up to me. And that's a gift I will always have and cherish forever. All right, so if there's no more questions, then we will see you bright and early in the morning. You're all so very welcome. And tomorrow morning, we are going to talk about stories. We are going to talk about virtual places to speak. So don't miss tomorrow. All right, I'll see you then. All right, everyone. Bye.